The very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to acknowledge the candidates who are running for office for next year. And what they are going to do is, wait a minute, let me take this off so I can see. All right. What they are going to do is those in the room will come up to our mic, and those online will just speak from where they are, obviously. They will say their name. So I'm Sally Philbin, and next year I'm a candidate for immediate past district director for next year, and that's it. And then we'll move on to the next person that I call. I have a list here, so hopefully I won't overlook anybody. So let's get started with that. We're going to start with the candidates for district director, Linda Patton.
Hi, I'm Linda Patton, and I'm a candidate for district director.
All right. Thank you so much. Next, Lindy Sinclair. All right. She is not here yet. Program Quality Director, Jeff Young.
Oh, that would be me.
That would be you.
I'm Jeff Young, and I am running for the position of Program Quality Director.
Thank you. Club Growth Director, coming up to the mic, Dennis Dawson. I'm going in alphabetical order.
And that one. Right there.
There we go. Dennis Dawson, running for Club Growth Director.
Thank you. Next, Maureen Filler.
Hi, Maureen Filler, running for Club Growth Director.
All right, thank you. Now we'll move into our division directors. For Division B, Daria Hoover, are you on?
Yes. I see her.
Okay, we see you.
Hi, yes, I am.
All right.
Hi, I'm Daria Hoover, running for Division B Director.
Thank you so much. Division D Director, Aaron Van.
Yes, I'm here. My name is Aaron Lockvan. I am running for Division Director.
Division D Director.
Division D Director.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Division E Director, Daniel.
Hi everyone, my name is Daniel Vaz, and I will be running for the position of Division E Director.
Thank you so much. Moving back up to the top for District Director, Lindy Sinclair.
Hello, my name is Lindy Sinclair. I'm running for District 57 Director.
Thank you so much. And those are our declared candidates. I have it on good authority that a few more people are stepping up to some of our positions that aren't being, where we don't have anybody that's been vetted yet, but I don't think I'm allowed to say. So I would like to, well, never mind. Let's move on. We've done that. Good. Next. Next is me. So can we go back to the share screen, please? And next slide, please. I'm Sally Philbin. I'm the current district director for District 57. Together we can soar, and we have been soaring all year long together. Next slide, please. I would just like to share with you that elections are the cornerstone of any organization. They're the way for all of the members to have a say in who their leaders are going to be. It's a way for members to step up and say, I want to lead. And it's a way for members to step up and become part of committees and groups who are in fact leading the district forward. First, of course, we need candidates. And we do have some vacant spots in our candidate roles. If you are interested in running for a district office, please get in touch with Ed Cullen. He will be speaking just a little bit later in the program. Be sure to ask questions if you're a candidate. Ask questions about what's going on in the area that you want to run for. And as importantly, listen. Listen to the answers that are being given. Think about them. Think about how they fit in with your perception of what's going on, and think about how they might change your perception of what's going on. Make your decision to run. You can see I'm changing this slide up just a little bit. Make your decision to run for office. Now, it's taking a step to the other side. We have people running for office. We have people who are voting. For those people who are voting, it's important that you need to know who the candidates are. We have some opportunities for that going forward. We will be putting up on our website a candidates corner, where we will have a statement by each of the candidates, who they are, why they're running, what their vision is. And you can go and check this out. We will be posting that in another, I don't know, week or week and a half. So that's a time you can ask questions then. We are also going to be having a candidate showcase. This is a time for listening, because the candidates, each candidate will be interviewed by Michael O'Sher, and that's an opportunity to listen to what they have to say in response to the questions that he asked. Every candidate will be asked the same, every candidate for the same office will be asked the same series of questions. There may be follow-up questions depending on what the candidate has to say. That candidate showcase is going to be on Thursday, May the 15th. It's the day before the business meeting. So it gives people an opportunity to listen to the candidates and not forget what they've learned, so that the next day they can vote. Make your decision and vote. It's important that everybody who's eligible to vote, in fact, votes. I may be saying this again later, but I'm going to say it now. People will not be carrying proxies. There may be a little bit of confusion in that statement, in that every club has 2 votes, the president and the vice president of education. Either of those people can carry their own vote, or if their pair doesn't attend the business meeting, they can vote both of those votes. That is not considered a proxy. A proxy is when someone specifically assigns someone else to carry their vote. That cannot happen at the district business meeting. It happens at the international convention, but not at the district business meeting. Next slide, please. I would just like to remind all of you that there are incentives all around us. The Area Director Club visit incentives. If you visit 100% of your clubs and file your report by April 30th, there is a $10 TI, what happened? I'm sorry, something's going weird on my screen. There is a $10 gift certificate to the TI store for you. So get out there and get those club visits going. When I looked yesterday, we were only 40% there. We've got a long ways to go. Now, in terms of achieving our 100% goal for club visits, as we did last half of the year, you have until May 31st. And we encourage you to do that, in fact. There are other awards out there, incentives, if you will. The Outstanding Toastmaster Award, you have until April 15th to submit that award if you want to be recognized at the conference. You have until June 30 to accomplish that award, and until July 15th to turn it in to be recognized at the year-end party. You will, if you complete the activities by June 30th and submit, you will receive your OTMA award, even if it happens after the end of your party, because if you earned it, you get it. We've got the Elite Triple Crown Award, same rules for submission. If you earn a level 5 and any other 2 levels, that's the Elite Triple Crown. If you want to be recognized at the conference, same rules. April 15th, recognized at the end of year party, you complete by June 30th, you submit by July 15th. We also have plenty of time for more open houses. Jeff will probably touch on this later, but I just wanted to remind you that there are district bucks on the table, and we want to be able to spend those district bucks by, what is it, June 1st, May 31st?
June 1st.
June 1st. That is an administrative requirement because we're all volunteers. Our finance managers are volunteers. So if we're trying to process those submissions, we need time to do that before the end of this program year. So that's why that deadline is in place. Take a look at the incentive awards sheet. I may well have missed other awards that are sitting out there, but take a look. There are incentives all around us. And the biggest incentives, you know, are distinguished club status and distinguished area status and distinguished division status and distinguished district status. All of those acknowledgments and recognitions are out there and available for you and us to claim. And we want to do that because after all, District 57 is awesome. And I may tell you a story about just how awesome this district is a little bit later. Next slide, please. Oh, wait, stop. Thank you. The question was, for the Elite Triple Crown, do you have to apply for that? Thank you for that question, because that's one you do not have to apply for. We know what's going on. So we will go into the records and we will pull them down and those will be recognized and awarded. So thank you for that question. Next slide, please.
Sally, Daniel has a question.
Yes, question?
Just one thing I wanted to clarify. You are referring to the Triple Crown report on the dashboard, right?
What?
Try again. Can you repeat that again?
You are
Information.
referring to the Triple Crown report on the dashboard, right?
If you're asking how you look to see what your distinguished status is, yes, you look on the dashboard.
No, for Triple Crown.
I'm sorry, I just don't understand.
For Triple Crown winners. So my situation is, since I submitted educational awards from 3 different districts, I don't have all my Triple Crown awards showing in one district.
Okay. We'll talk to you afterwards about this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I mentioned club visits earlier. I think I did anyway. Yes, I mentioned in the sense of incentives. Club visits, what's in it for you? You become better informed about what's going on at the clubs that you are overseeing. You're better able to help them. You're better able to help them be better informed. So your clubs become better informed, the members. They know what's going on in the district. They know what their opportunities are. And if this were earlier in the year, I would also remind you that they are your go-to people when you need volunteers. And we need volunteers, as you'll be hearing later for the conference. We want you to spread the word to your club members that we need volunteers at the conference, and we're hoping that they'll step up and do that. So club visits help us save clubs. It helps us save members. It keeps you better informed and in the loop for all of that. So that's why club visits are so very important. Plus, frankly, they're the most fun of the area director job, is visiting clubs. I had a great time visiting clubs, and I was an area director 3 different times, and it was always fun. Let's move on to the next slide. I'm seeing things on my screen I don't want to see. Okay, thank you. Realignment. Why do you care? The reason that we realign our clubs is because it makes it a little bit easier for your successor next year to make visits and get around to the clubs, because we try to group them such that they're close to each other. There may be a new club coming in that we may need to talk about in a moment, but in general, we look at where they meet, and if they're in their hybrid meetings, then we try to group them so that it makes it easier. The other thing is that TI has requirements concerning the size of each area and division. And this has just come to my attention in that they're being strict about this requirement. It used to be that although we needed to have 4 clubs per area and 4 areas per division, if we knew that we had a club coming in for a new club coming in, we could set up an area with just 3 clubs, knowing that we had a club getting ready to charter. Not so anymore. So last night, I sent out a revised realignment chart to our division directors, and I have Priya, I hope I have Priya online. And so now what I would like to do is ask us to stop the share. Thank you, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so can everybody see my screen? And Priya, you're going to have to talk to me. Priya is our district realignment chair. She has been doing a great job trying to keep up with all the changes that have been going on. We have had a meeting with the division directors a month or so ago looking at our preliminary recommendation, and then, of course, I threw a curve out there saying, oh, no, we have to have it 4 and 4. So I'll turn it to you, Priya, just to kind of walk through what we're looking at now. And if you have questions, if you'll just jot them down on a notepad, and when she gets done, we will take those questions.
Sure, Sally. So should I share screen? Will that work better?
Well, I have my screen shared
Okay.
in it. This is what you sent me. I just took out some columns so it'd be easier to see.
Got it. Okay, no worries. Okay, let's just go through with this. So thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to present the proposal for District 57 realignment for the clubs and the divisions. So we have 6 divisions in District 57, A, B, C, D, E, F. And as per the conditions that Toastmasters.org imposes, we need to have 4 areas in every division and 4 clubs, at least 4 clubs in every area, and at least 4 areas in every division. So this realignment is following that principle. And so we start with area A. Here you see A1 has 5 clubs now. The US Biopharma has been moved to A29. Any questions on A1? Okay, A13. A13 has 6 clubs. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it has 6 clubs, and they have been grouped as per their proximity. This may change, but for now I'm leaving it as it is. This is A13 with 6 clubs. Going down to A29, it has 4 clubs. So Star Search and US Biopharma have been added to A29 based on their location. So all these changes have been made by looking at the address at which the club meets. And if it has a proximity to any other area in that location, then that club has been moved to that area. So here, Star Search and US Biopharma came to A29. A35 has got a new club from B22, that's Geno Masters. And A35 has Geno Masters, and it lost 3 of its clubs. But Union City Toastmasters, Tea Toasters, Toothmasters, and Geno Masters form A35. And there is a proposal to form a new area called A36 that has 4 clubs in it. Akatabao Club, Fantastic Toastmasters, Newark Toastmasters, and Top of the Hill Toastmasters. So any questions so far for Division A? So A still has has all the 4 existing areas, and it has 1 new area. So it will now have 5 areas, and each of these areas have at least 4 clubs.
We have a question for the audience. Give us a moment. Hang on. Okay, so it's Marine, and let me.
Okay. Top of the hill, oh, sorry. Top of the hill is still shown under A36, but it also says move to D12, which it didn't. Shouldn't that be cleaned up?
Yeah, it'll be cleaned up. It'll be cleaned up. This was a new area that was formed last night. We had a
That's-
discussion.
I
Yeah.
kept trying to figure out what was going on with the top of the hill, but that makes sense now.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the question. Any other questions?
There's questions in the chat.
Okay, the question is, are we going to share the link to the spreadsheet online at some point?
Yes. We would be sharing the link to the spreadsheet and the PDF online that we are sharing today. I can put the link here in the chat. Let me see if I'm able to do that. 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll try to put that in.
Also, I see at the bottom it says Penumbra is listed as part of A35 or 36. Penumbra is actually closer to Alameda, so it should be. I placed them in D30.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Okay. We can talk on that, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I put the link in the chat for this spreadsheet. Feel free to go through it in your free time. And this will also come in an email from Sally. So going on to Division B, in the interest of time, I'll just go through all the divisions, and then you can go through the link that I've put in the chat in your free time and send me a question. So my email address is already here in the chat. So Sally and I will work on the questions and the feedback that we received. So going on to Division B, B7 has 5 clubs. It is getting Diablo Champagne Breakfast Club coming from B27. B21 has 4 clubs. It's just Laugh Flowers Comedy is going to another area. So scroll down. B21 has 5 clubs. B22 has 5 clubs as well. Geno Masters moved to A35. Going down to B27, can we go down? Yeah, Laugh Flowers Comedy Club went to B27 and Diablo moved to B7. So again, 5 clubs in B27. Going down, C8 has 4 clubs, no change. C9 has 4 clubs. Kaiser Communications moved to C31. C10 is still at 6 clubs, no change. C31 has 5 clubs now. So any questions on B and C? Not much changed in B and C. D, also not much changed, but just to meet the condition of having 4 clubs, D3 is same, D12 is same. D26, if you scroll down, D26. D26, I moved the Andy Toastmasters to D30 in order to make the 4 club condition for every area. So from D26, I moved 1 club to D30. So again, nothing has changed. Going on to E, area E. So the most changed area is area A. So if Division Director A wants to look at their area and make sure that none of their clubs are missing or I haven't missed any of them, please do that. All of the division directors, please look at your respective divisions, and all the area directors also look at your areas. Make sure your areas meet the criteria of at least 4 clubs and at least 4 areas in every division. So E4 has 5 clubs. Berkeley Bay came from E18. E6 has 4 clubs. E18 has 4 clubs. Nothing changed in E6. E18, only power speakers moved into E18. E23, no change, just having 4 clubs. 1 club moved to the other area. So as far as possible, I've tried to move clubs only within the same division. None of them jumped a division. So that's an update. Area Division F, we now have a new area in Division F. In F19, we have 4 clubs. Quick Connections moved from F34 to here. Trident Toastmasters has moved to F34. So F19 has 4 clubs, F28 has 4 clubs. Amador Valley Toastmasters also moved to F34. So F34 has 4 clubs now. Can we scroll down? Actually, Amador Valley moved to the new area, F35. So Amador Valley has a new area called F35. It has 4 clubs. The new club, we have to determine which new club will go here in F35 in order to meet the 4 club condition. And Virtual Toasters, Cree Art, which was again a new club that was created, and Amador Valley are coming into F35 to make the new area and the 4 clubs in the new area.
What new club is being added to F35?
I was thinking it was Penumbra, but I could be wrong.
Okay, because Penumbra is physically located up closer to D, and which because it's in the Alameda.
Okay.
And so that's probably not a good place to put that new club.
Okay, let's talk about that, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have the link now to the sheet. So I would advise all of you to go and take a look at the sheet. Make sure I've not missed any clubs. And I've also highlighted the suspended clubs or the clubs that are not meeting the minimum 8-member requirement to be in good standing. So let me know if I missed any club or if I inadvertently put the same club twice. So let me know, and I'm ready to take feedback and ready to correct this proposal before the business meeting on May 3rd, I think.
Sorry, is it D30, not D3? That's to Janet.
All right, thank you so much, Priya, for this. This has been a lot of work. Janet, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I
Oh,
answered.
okay. So we do have a little bit more tweaking to do, but if you have comments or have feedback on this, our effort, frankly, is to put this together so that we can function next year in a cohesive way and not worry so much about the long term, because by the end of next year, by the beginning of the following year, we will be a different district. So the whole realignment within our new district will be a huge project and will be accomplished based on what we look like in the future. So basically, we're just, we want to build something that will work for next year. I mean, that's what we do every year, right? We want it to work for the next year, but we're not really thinking long-term. So that's my story. Anybody have any other thoughts, or Priya, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
When is the deadline for when you want commentary by?
I would prefer to have all the feedback by Monday or latest by Tuesday, because we are working on getting this finalized sooner rather than later.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Yep, we have to have it ready for the business meeting, so. And that's where we'll be voting on it. All right, then let me stop my share. And Lisa, if you will go back to Yes. So is this my last slide or my first slide?
That's your first slide.
Not necessarily. Okay, go down to my last slide, which looks just like this. And I would just like to, oh yeah, okay, so I would just like to say that, as you can see from some of the things that we've shared, we have been working hard this year. We have been soaring together, and I would like to, I know this isn't our last meeting of the year, certainly, but it never hurts to say thank you, and I do say thank you to all of you. Next, I would like to call on our Program Quality Director, Linda Patton.
Thank you, Sally, so very much. And as you know, my theme this year was to revitalize, rebuild, and reinvent. And we've done some really fabulous, fun things. And what's coming up next is conference. So if you take to the next slide, please. Our keynote speaker and educational presenter is Diane Ployce, someone who is known and is near and dear to the hearts of Toastmasters and D57. And her topic is Say Yes. Scare yourself and succeed anyway. It's something that every one of us as a Toastmaster has had the challenge of living. And I think Diane has a fabulous way of presenting it for all of us at the conference. Next, please. We have two parallel tracks running in our educational sessions. We'll have workshops in the morning, in two different locations, and we will have afternoon sessions as well. In one session, we will be repeating the events from the morning. So those that are being put together by Ashley Harkness will actually run twice, whereas those workshops that Cynthia Ye is putting together, there will be actually 8 of them. And there'll be 8 individual ones. So you have a lot of education and a lot of fun stuff going on in our workshops. So stay tuned for those topics. Next, please. So some of the ones that we have, and it is a very partial list. Denise Blanc is going to talk about navigating rapids, leaning into difficult conversations, something none of us ever have. Steve today is looking to find that shining needle of common ground. Bette Bolhofer, again, a past district director, embodying product management. Dennis Dawson is bringing together an author panel that includes me, Shobha Rowe, Denise Blanc, and many, many more. Artie Kapoor is also going to do a presentation. We don't have a title for that yet. Nahisha Tahir, and if I mispronounce your name, I do apologize profusely. And again, we don't have a title yet. There are more, and as I said, Cynthia is pulling those together. We will be finalizing those shortly, but we are always still looking for speaker nominations and referrals so that we can really fill this list out with some absolutely awesome individuals. But I can't wait to see some of these presentations. Next, please. Okay, so we have a contest running within the conference. Bring the spirit, win the glory. Inspire your clubs to participate and earn bragging rights and prizes. We're awarding to 3 area directors who has the most clubs participating in all 3 categories, and 1 division director who has the highest overall participation. The categories are raffle prize donations. These are not huge baskets or anything else. It can be something small, but something that represents your club or your town or your area or whatever it might be. I can tell you that I suggested Heart to Heart as their president, that perhaps we put together a heart basket of some sort with different kinds of hearts, chocolate hearts, rose hearts, whatever it might be, rose hips, and offer that. So clubs, be creative. Think about what represents your club and that somebody would love to have. Second, we do have a silent auction. We are looking for bigger prizes for that. It could be a night on the town. It could be tickets to the theater. It could be a workshop that one of your members would put on for a club or whatever. So think of what those might be and bring them to us. We're looking for those items as well. And then Maureen Fuller, we thank her so very, very much, has the parade of banners. And we want all of our clubs to take their banners out, dust them off, check and see that they've got all the ribbons and everything else that they need on them. We actually had a club go, I want to do this. I guess I need to go buy a banner. They never had one. So it's a wonderful opportunity for you to bring that pride of ownership to the district conference. And I can't wait to see how many of you actually show up, because I think it's going to be a really gloriously beautiful display of banners, some with ribbons, some without. And those of you who should have ribbons and don't, go to TI and find out what happened to them. So let's build momentum. Let's celebrate our clubs and make this year and this conference unforgettable. Next, please. Contest. We begin the conference with a contest and we end the conference with a contest. So we start with the evaluation contest. The start time there is 8 a.m. The contest co-chairs are Michelle Petcolis and Ananda Sen. Location and briefing details obviously are still to be announced, but we do know exactly what time it will begin. The International Speech Contest starts in the afternoon. I love the fact that Tiffany says it's going to be at 3:34 p.m. Needless to say, that may vary just a little bit. Again, our conference co-chairs are Michelle and Ananda. Those details will be finalized. We will announce the winners at approximately 5:24 in the afternoon. Are we being very specific or not? I mean, I love the fact that we're working on the minutes and not just every 5 minutes. Again, start time and details need to be finalized. The only time that is firm is the evaluation contest. It will start at 8 a.m. and we will share the schedule and locations as we get closer. Please plan to arrive early and stay late, because after the conference and after the speech contest, we do have a special event afterwards. Next slide, please. And I'm not going to tell you what that is yet. We do at the moment have 53 people registered to come in person, and we have 10 people who are coming online. Needless to say, we want many hundreds more in both of those. We want this to be a robust and well-attended program. I want to see each and every one of you at the conference. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Thank you. I think that's all I have.
Yep.
All right. Yep.
We have a question for you. Linda, you want to come up here for that? Sure.
Yeah, we're aiming at.
The question is, how many people are we expecting for the conference?
Right, and we're aiming for 200 minimum.
You, Sally.
Yeah. Okay, so 200 people. Linda, do you have anything to say or add to that? I was asking if Linda had anything else to add to that.
No, I mean, yes, we're aiming for 200. Obviously, we would love 300. We can accommodate a large number of people. We are at the California Maritime Academy. We have a huge auditorium. We've got 8 different classrooms. So lots of room for people to spread out, to choose what events they want to go to. Lunch is actually out in a different building, so we're not trying to cram food in with everything else that we're doing. So, I mean, we've got lots and lots and lots of room, and we have a parking lot as well for everyone to park in. So it's definitely designed for us to have a lot more people even than 250, but that's what we're shooting for.
Great,
Thank you.
thank you. Can we go back a slide just as a kind of a placeholder? Is Dr. Michelle Petticola online? Are you presenting on the district contest update?
I definitely am.
All right,
And
Go
shall I
back
go
one
ahead?
more. Go back one more.
Yes. There you go. You're up.
Jeff, go back one more slide.
One more
Back one
slide.
Yeah.
There you go.
That way it makes sense.
So we have two contests. And if you want to, well, I'm inviting division and area directors in particular to reach out to your clubs and encourage them to attend. But we need volunteers. We have two contests, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. So we actually need double the volunteers. Not completely, but we are expecting to need double the volunteers because some people will be volunteering to help out at the evaluation contest and different ones at the international speech contest. Now, here's the good news. If you don't want to go to the whole conference and you just want to come to one of those contests, you can do it for free. But if you take the time to come all the way over, you might as well come for the whole conference. So who do we need? Well, you know, you've been in these contests, you know what is involved. And we need a lot for the district contest. We need contest chairs, we've got that. We need contest toastmasters, we've got that. But we do need 3 sergeant-at-arms in the morning and 1 sergeant-at-arms in the afternoon session. We need 2 timers at least in the morning and in the afternoon. I have no timers yet. We need ballot counters. We need 3 ballot counters, and that's both morning and afternoon. So that's a lot. And then there are the judges, and I'm not quite sure how are we doing on judges. I think we have judges that are going to go through the both contests, but I can't guarantee that. And then we need, this is really big, we need technical hosts. We need somebody both online to make sure that the Zoom program is running properly, that we don't get Zoom bombers and that people are muted. And then we need an in-person technical host who will run the recording of the contest. And then we have a separate person who is going to be videotaping the international speech contest in order to submit the winner's video. So that's 2 different cameras at that time. And then we also need help in the seminar rooms because we are going to be making it available to our online audience. So this is still a hybrid meeting, but oh my gosh, it's got the best part of the in-person meeting. That is, all the participants in the contest are in person, and I'm so excited about that. And one more ask. The recording of the international speech competition needs to be done by a professional camera, and we don't really have it yet. People have been offering their little tiny photography cameras, but we need a camera that has a strong enough lens that it can shoot the stage from the back of the auditorium. So if you happen to have that, please reach out to me or somebody, Ashley Harkness, either me or Ashley Harkness about that, because we could really use a very high-end camera. I have a high-end camera from the early 2000s and it's not high def, so we can't use that. So that's it. I'm asking you to please reach out to your clubs and ask people to step up and volunteer, because we cannot do it without many hands. And because we're doing 2 contests, people all have to be in person. And we're inviting people, some to, just be in the morning. Maybe you want to relax and see the afternoon, or maybe, you have some people in the morning and you're okay to volunteer in the afternoon. That is pretty much my part of this DECM meeting. I'm done, unless anybody has any questions. There is something I want to put in the chat, and that is there is a volunteer form that you can fill out that tells us what you're willing to do. And what's this other one? I think this is the one that I want.
Tiffany can put it in if she's there. Tiffany, are you online?
Yes, I'm here.
can you put the form up in the chat, please?
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Michelle, she'll do it for you.
Okay, great, because I was about to put the wrong, I have two links in my notes here, and I think
I'll put in yours. I know there's two different forms. I know the contest has their own, so I'll put yours in, Michelle.
yes, please, because that we have access to it, and we're getting names. I mean, I've got at least 15 people who have volunteered to help us out, but you can imagine that we need at least 8 judges, not counting the chief judge, and we need a lot of ballot counters, and we need timers. So if you're a good timer, I want to hear from you. Or if you know somebody who's a good timer, please, I need some good timers. And I know it's hard to pay attention to the contest when you're a timer, but you are so essential.
Okay, Janet has a question for you, Michelle.
Yes.
Michelle, I know most people on this call probably know, but if you could just reiterate what the qualifications are to be a judge.
Oh, is Hans here? He's the one who's the chief judge. What are the qualifications for being a judge? I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah.
Are you
I can
here?
speak to that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Hans.
You need to be a member for 6 months. You need to, I believe you need the first 6 speeches of the Competent Communicator Manual, which is, that's years ago.
That's old. That doesn't apply anymore. All that legacy stuff doesn't apply. So I think you have to have completed, is it 2 levels and taken the judges training?
Yeah. So please click the link that is in the chat and we'll get back to you on that.
Are we providing a judge's training for judges?
Yeah.
And if you've been a judge before, would that make a difference if you can't make the training, or is there going to be a recording of the training?
Well, TI provides training for judges. You go to Toastmasters International and they have judges training there.
Oh, they have I've done that. Okay, so they need to have done the judges training and they need to have 2 levels. And very, very important. You cannot be in a club that has one of the contestants. In other words, if there's a contestant in which you are also a member, you cannot be a judge.
Right.
Yeah, and that brings up another point. I know that Michelle has been trying to get the list of winners from each division.
And I only have 3 divisions so far.
Exactly.
And
So
yeah.
We've had 5 division contests. If any of the division directors are here today and have not given that list of winners to Michelle, please do that. That way we can, make sure who's eligible and who's not.
And those need to be sent to Michelle, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fine. Do you want me to put my
Put your email in the chat.
my email in the chat? Okay.
Renee Hawk asks which division winners are needed.
Which division which ones do we not have? Hold on, let me look that up. And then I'll get back and put my information in the...
And there was also a question on what is the date of the conference? And that is...
We already answered that question, Sally.
Well, it was answered online.
Well,
I don't know if everybody's reading their messages or not.
So we have Division F, Division D, and Division E. So that means we need A, B, C. Yeah. D, E, and F, we've got. The end of the alphabet is good. The first part of the alphabet's got to get moving. I think that there is one that has a contest coming up on the 19th, so they won't be able to give it to us until then. And what was the other question?
Their conference is on May 17th at the Maritime Academy.
Right. And also, if you're going to be a participant or a volunteer for the morning contest, please be here by 7:30. Please be at the Maritime.
All right. Are we good?
I believe we are.
One question from the room, just a minute.
Okay.
The,
No.
no one gets free access to the conference. Anybody who's only going to the contest has free access to the contest. So if the contestant is only going to a contest, they get free access, but if they're going to the conference all day, they do not get free access and they pay.
Thank you for clarifying that, Sally.
Anybody who's only going to the contest can go for free.
All right. Moving on.
Yes, moving on. I think, Jeff, you're up.
Okay. So, I can't believe that this is the second to last time we'll be doing this slide. It's been uphill all year, and I'm a little tired. But it's been a lot of fun, phone calls, and persistence. I've had the privilege of being part of the trio and extended team, and I'll save my thanks to you for next month. But suffice to say that Sally and Linda have been my mentors in different ways, and Lisa, Lee, and Derek have gotten me to write tons of articles all year. But the time was well spent, and it's been a good run, even if it feels like a marathon of member support sometimes. Next slide. 92% of the clubs made it to the March 31st finish line. Thank you. Shout out to Rock Electric, Swift Plaza, Lunch Bunch, Top of the Hill, and Kaiser Communicators, who pulled off a miracle to find their 8th member by the time the deadline rolled around. It'll take something short of a miracle to get us to break even for the district, but I'll take what I can get. And I'm proud of everyone who chose to find who they needed instead of just giving up. As of April 4th, 84% of where we are as far as membership dues are being paid. The number's a lot higher, I assume because there's a blackout period that ends on Sunday, so I don't have an accurate number. But there's also a few clubs that had 8 at the end of March and still need to make sure to pay their dues to 8 for the end of April. So just kind of bear in mind, I'll be making phone calls to you before the end of the month, hopefully this weekend. Next slide, please. So far, we've run 47 open houses, so we're a little over halfway to the goal of 75% of the district, which is 79 clubs. Remember that we have 2 months left at the end of the year. And I know for people who are still allergic to open houses, don't think of them as open houses. Think of them as events being put on by the club, because that's the mindset you really want here. It's about doing something that you have a passion for. When you host a house party, you bring that energy instead of just having a same old meeting, and that's something to keep in mind. That's one of the reasons to get an open house outside speaker. And I'll talk more about events in the later part of the meeting. Next slide, please. So, first order of business here, hot off the presses and technically still in the shrink wrap is District 57's second club for 2024-2025, and that's Penumbra. After months of red tape and who's got the check, we processed payments yesterday and they should be getting their Pathways registration late next week. I want to take a moment to give Ashley Harkness, hopefully he's on the call, kudos and credit for showing up every week for 6 months to get this club off the ground. They kept coming back for him and his redoubtable teaching and mentoring abilities. That being said, Ashley has had to move on to other things, so if any of you want a mentoring spot for your DTM, now's the time to speak up. The catch is that you have to show up in Alameda at 1310 Harbor Bay Parkway in Alameda because they meet in person only for the moment. But as their mentor, you could see about facilitating hybrid meetings for them and make it easier on yourself. We have 4 more clubs still trying to charter yet. That's Bay Point, Tech Talk AI, Time Travelers, and a brand new club way up in Arcata, which doesn't even have a name yet, but they might next week. The 5th club is also stuck in financial limbo, but I'll keep my fingers crossed for them because they all need is a credit card. They have everything else. All right, next slide. Just so you know, Jan Voss, the Division D director, is taking on the captain's role for the Online Board Gamers Club. The general idea is to provide a space to talk about your favorite games, game theory and strategy, and to do some matchmaking until the next meeting to play games between meetings. But it's up to her and her team to set the official ground rules. And Jan, I owe you a mailing list and a sit down, that's a promise, because I'm being recorded right now. As for me, I'm doing the almost totally improv club. And what I mean by this is we're going to assign the roles randomly. This is an idea I got from Stagecoach Speakers Toastmasters, shout out to them, by the way, except you're going to be doing it when you walk into the meeting. I'm hoping to have an article on the digest and a website available for both of those soon. For the folks who want the improv club, I'll be mailing you before the end of the month. The surveys, I have the information down there. I just have to figure out how to split it up and send it out to people. And also the Tech Talk AI folks, you may be getting mail from me as well. All right, next slide. One last thing I want to mention before I hand things off to Lisa and Hans is that this month, my District 57 dispatch column was a bit of an April Fool's column, wherein I asked ChatGPT where District 57 was. It hallucinated madly and assured me that we were in New York first. And when I said, that's wrong, it said, oh, I'm sorry, we're the state of Texas. And its main reason for saying so, when I asked it about that, is that those states are big. Well, in my snarky reply that I added to the article, I listed out where District 57 actually was, and in my haste and lack of coffee, I left out Sonoma and Marin counties, as well as Ukiah. Division C, I love you. You're just big and far away, but not as far away as Texas. Mea culpa, and thanks to David Cantor for catching me out on my cinema mission, but I'm still smarter than AI. That being said, that's my spiel, and I hand things off to Lisa and Hans. All right, next slide, please.
All right, thank you, Jeffrey. So, welcome everyone. I'm Hans Thoma. I'm here to talk to you about something that's the job of everyone, and that is public relations. We all know that to grow our clubs, we can, we need to constantly be out there promoting and talking to our friends and posting flyers. And there is one to think about that I'm really going to emphasize today. Next slide, please. And that is the conference, because there's no reason that you yourself cannot help us promote this conference. All of you, I'm sure, have Facebook profiles, and maybe even your club has a Facebook page. Therefore, you can help us by sharing our flyers and information about the conference using your Facebook page, your profile, or your club's profile. You may be friends with other clubs and other districts, and if they see this information, that might encourage them to attend. Next slide, please. What you should do when promoting the conference is just remind everyone that discounted rooms are available for those who need to travel long distances. And that's important because if you're going to be promoting this, posting this on Facebook, sharing it with your friends, some of them might live in, say, Sacramento or somewhere that's an hour or two away. You should always mention the location of the conference. You should mention the great educational sessions that are occurring. And finally, as Michelle mentioned earlier, there's a link to volunteer there. We need several positions to be filled. It's lots of fun. You'll get experience in managing the conference as well as volunteering for a contest role. Next slide, please. Now, as we wrap up this year, talking about your clubs, you've all been visiting your clubs as area directors, division directors, and they're all kind of, some of them might be struggling with getting guests. And I've talked about this before, but I really want you to reach out to your clubs and see what their presence is online. I'm going to talk here about how to optimize your presence using Google. Many people, when they search for a club, they'll just say something like Toastmasters near me or Toastmasters Club in Fremont. Well, what happens when they do that? Next slide, please. Okay, so let's say that I did search for just the words Toastmasters near me, and my browser knows that I live in Fremont. So these clubs actually come up in Google. The one here on top is Speakers Forum, which is in Fremont. And notice on the right, there is a map. It actually has the location. And if you go to the next slide, please, it will actually provide a profile of that club. And this is made possible by creating a profile of your club on Google Maps. It's the same way that a restaurant or any other business does on Google to provide a professional presence for their business on Google. You see there are photographs of that club. There's a map. People can leave reviews for that club, and it provides information about the hours and directions to that club. This is something that most clubs do not have. This is something that does not appear automatically, but I strongly encourage each of you to reach out to your clubs and tell their VPPR to start doing this so that they appear like this on Google. Because right now, most clubs do not. They don't have a profile like this. They don't have any photographs, etc. And I can be available to assist in this process to get each of your clubs on here and instruct them on how to get a professional presence exactly like this. Next slide, please. Look at the analysis that resulted for that particular club. In 1 month, 45 people asked for directions to that club. In 1 month, 11 people visited Speakers Forum's website because of seeing that Google presence. Okay, so these are real results that happen from that Google profile. If you optimize it, you have that professional presence with photographs, you will get more results. Next slide, please. Another possibility, and we've talked about this before, is providing a presence on YouTube. Several clubs have created a video, which I have hosted on our channel, including CBC Toastmasters, CreArt Toastmasters, and Heart to Heart, and a couple of others, BioRadical as well. And this is just a short video that tells what is unique about your club. If you have not done this already, or if you want some assistance in doing that, please reach out to me. Because creating a video is going to go a long way to showing the public what your club is all about. Next slide, please. And finally, this is something that we've got out of practice on, because during the pandemic, a lot of you stopped posting physical flyers, printed flyers. And I'm here to tell you they are really, really effective. My club gets visitors from a flyer that is simply posted in the public library. And you don't have to use special software to create that flyer. It's already there to download. The example on the left of this slide is available on Toastmasters' website. You can simply put the name of your club on it and a contact information, and that's all. So please reach out to your clubs and conduct an audit of what they're doing in terms of PR. That's really what you should do as an area director, is help them understand what is their public presence. By optimizing that presence, they will grow and survive. Thank you very much.
Hans, you have 2 questions. You have one from Jeff and one from me.
All right, so Hans, my question is that if you are doing the Google business page, but your club is pure virtual, what do you put for an address?
That's a very good question. You can easily say that you're remote or hybrid, and you could say something like, Zoom link will be provided upon request. Please contact us for more information. Now, I will say that to establish a presence like I showed in that slide, you will need a map location, and you can easily use your home address or a business that you own or work at. And as long as it's verifiable, you can use it. Like,
Okay,
as long as you don't try to claim a business that has already been claimed, you can do it. Does that make sense?
it does, and I'm just concerned about having people posting their home addresses and have people show
Well,
up.
I guess, yeah, I guess, to be honest, this is not, if you're concerned about that, then this is not the way to go, because you do need a map location in order to take advantage of that profile.
Okay, and because
So you have to use some,
all right,
that's a very good question.
we'll figure something out. Can you, Lindy wants to know if we can use an approximate address.
Yes. Sure. I mean, the whole point of it is that you need it would provide directions based on that address. So it should be within the same city. That's what's important. If you're just a remote only club, then you just need to make it very, very clear that you don't actually meet there and that people need to contact you for that information.
Got it. Okay, that's my question. Linda.
Okay, two things. One is with being only remote, you can also post a registration link, which doesn't have any, well, again, you have the challenge of it won't show up on Google. Anyway, when you're talking about printed flyers, you had the wonderful ones from the conference. You can hang the conference ones in those very same places. So I would encourage folks to go to the public library, to Pete's, to Starbucks, and hang those flyers there as well. And anywhere else in their community that they can hang flyers. I think that's also important.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, exactly. We ask each person how they learned about our club when they visit.
Mhm.
And more than half of them say because of a physical flyer.
Right.
So it does work. You can create your custom one or just use one on this slide. Any other questions?
Now, Lindy says, can you use just Berkeley, California as a location?
I would recommend, well, see, Google needs an actual street address. So the problem is that they need to verify that you actually own or manage that establishment. So you have, sometimes
It
when I first,
sounds like that's just not a good option for a totally virtual club because, basically you'd want to let people know that you are in Northern California, District 57, but that's not an address. So,
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's probably not a good option for the virtual clubs. All
yeah,
right.
I'll think about that some more, because when I first did it a few years ago, they had to mail me a postcard to verify that I actually managed that business.
Right. Okay, well,
So,
thank you, Hans. I appreciate that. Moving right along, Winnie has been having trouble with her internet, and so she wanted everyone to know, number one, that the reports that she often provides aren't available at this meeting, and so they will be available at the June meeting. And also that please, 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 clubs start submitting receipts for district bucks, because there is a deadline on that, and I mentioned that earlier, but decide what you want to get on behalf of your club, submit your receipts, and use those district bucks because you've been earning them. I thought it was,
I want to say, I think May 15th is right from last year, but it sounds like we said June 1st this year.
yeah, I think June 1st is this year, and you're muted over there. So, yeah. The next series of topics we are calling town hall topics. And this is a potpourri of topics that we wanted you all.
Just here tonight. Yeah.
Okay, can you guys mute, please? So first on our list of topics is we want to hear from Jeff Young to talk a little bit about club coaches. Now, we know you've heard some of this before, but I think people aren't remembering because we don't have just this rush of people coming forward wanting to be a club coach. So Jeff, give us some background.
All right. So, think about being a club coach is, now that I am one, is that it's a little bit of bureaucracy and a lot of attention and essentially finding a reason to help the club find its passion again. Now, the official stuff is that in order to succeed as a club coach to get credit for your DTM, is the club has to be distinguished at any level. You don't need 20 members, but you do need at least +3 year over year and the club success plan and at least 5 DCB points. If the club gets higher distinguished, awesome, but I know that in a previous meeting I said you needed 20, you don't. If you get 20, by the way, you do get credit for serving as a district officer as a bonus on top of that, so you don't have to be an area director or something like that in order to get that credit. So if you're working DTM, all you need to get the coach credit is just +3, the 5 DCB points minimum, and the club success plan. Now, there's some initial paperwork and there's some training in the sense that you have to have a form that you and the club president both sign. And also you have to come up with an initial status report, which is a plan of what the club plans to do, which looks especially like the club success plan. But you're supposed to give status reports every 2 months, which I now have to give mine in order to make sure I get credit for that. The next part is attend as many meetings as possible. You don't have to go to every single meeting, but you're supposed to be there to observe the club in action, and you can't do that if you don't go to the meeting. Have fun. If you're not having fun in the meeting, something's wrong. And what I mean by that is whatever the club's vibe is, and I always like to ask clubs at the beginning when I visit them, what kind of club are you? Are you a creative club? Are you a motivational club? Or are you a humorous club or some form of all three, or just plain old professional? And I try to encourage the coaches to talk with the club before signing up for it. I don't want to assign a coach that doesn't want to be there. And also, same thing from the club end, I don't want a club to have a coach they don't like. Now, the next part is, and this is part of the training, bring fresh eyes and fresh ideas. You are not allowed to join the club at any point. Instead, you are there to be an outside advisor, and this is the key point, advisor. You're not supposed to tell them, you must do this. You're not supposed to do things for them, if at all possible. But overall, you're there as an assistant, not as someone who takes over the club, because the club has to survive when you're gone. If you do everything for them, they're just going to go back to what they're doing. This is unfortunate. And of course, keep your eye on the ball. When I was working as an unofficial coach for the club that I'm working with, I just kind of let them do what they wanted to. But now that I'm their official coach and my DTM is writing on that, I said, hey, help me help you. And therefore you help me. More often, communicate early, often, and late. And what I mean by that is we have a signal group, we have email chains, and I am also on their list for being able to help with their paperwork and other things. I'm not a club member, I'm not an officer. I still have to go through them, and that's on purpose. Speaking of which, nominate an organizer for the club. Maybe it's the club president, maybe it's who I like to call the club mechanic, the person who obviously gets stuff done for the club, but get a one-on-one with that person, and that way you can talk about what's going wrong and what's not going wrong, going well, because if you plan together, then that person becomes your spokesperson for the club, inside the club. And if you can, nominate 2 organizers, because sometimes the other person wants to go on vacation. Next, and this is the most important part, help them advertise. Like as Hans said, if your club is invisible out in the real world, you're not going to get any extra guests. My club got a visitor from using the electronic signboards at the office. that I put up 3 months ago, and we said, how'd you find it? Oh, I saw everything on the board, and I waited 8 minutes for it to come back around to write down the information. It works. You just have to be sure to do it. If your VP of PR is not advertising at all, get them to start. Next, generate an event. I'm not going to call them open houses, just call them events. What does your event have to do with the club? Come up with a theme. I've seen some really good open house flyers that say, open house, here's our speaker. The better ones say, open house, here's the topic, and here's the speaker. Top of the Hill is running an open house that is based on the job market and how to find a job, and also hopefully our guest speaker will be talking about finding a job in this workplace if you are a minority or a woman or both, because you have extra obstacles in front of you. That's the plan, that's the theme, and that's the event. And we're running it at the end of May. See how that works? Tell people it's open house, they'll say, oh, open house. So here's an event with a theme, then you have something to talk about. Okay, last but not least, delegate. Again, remember the club is going to have to do this without you eventually, because once you leave, they're on their own. And if you've done everything for them, if you've been the one rescuing them by doing everything for them, they didn't do anything. You did all of it. So have someone do the things, and as the president notes, nudge people when they don't. Finally, take notes on what works and what doesn't, because number one, it's part of your report. Number two, you can hand them those notes and say, here's what we did, here's what we decided. And above all, again, have fun, and don't be afraid to reschedule things if the first date doesn't work out. Because if you get frustrated by things not starting out well enough, then you're just not going to have fun, and they're not going to concede because they'll see it. Be yourself, and I'm looking for the best coaches that can do those things. I already have a few of them. We've placed Artie. Jasmine is in the process of getting approved with their club, and I want to say there's one more that I'm working on that I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's my case study notes, and I'm hoping to get Top of the Hill to distinguish sometime in the next year.
All right, thank you so much, Jeff. Next is, we want to share some information about the importance of completing path levels. And for that is Gemma Reeser. She is our district pathways coordinator, chair. I'm sorry, Gemma, I'm not sure what your official title is, but you've been awesome this year going out and visiting clubs and talking about pathways. So please help me welcome Gemma Reeser to talk about path level completions.
Thank you, Sally. Good morning. As we move into the final stretch of the Toastmasters year, I think it's 6-7 weeks, I want to talk about a powerful tool that is sometimes overlooked. It's right at our fingertips, and it reflects more than just goals and numbers. It really represents the heartbeat of our clubs. I'm talking about the Distinguished Performance Report. On the surface, yes, it's numbers. How many members, how many goals achieved, how many levels completed. But when you really look at it, it's a snapshot of club health and, by extension, district health. Every goal checked off represents something meaningful, someone who stepped outside their comfort zone, who committed to growth, who delivered a project and learned something from it. And here's the thing. We can't support our clubs in reaching those goals unless we determine where they stand. That means taking time to review your club's current status on the Distinguished Performance Report. You really want to ask these basic questions. How many educational goals are already recorded? How many could be achieved by June 30th? Are there members who have finished a path level but just never submitted it? Is there someone who is one project away from a level completion and just needs a little bit of a nudge? I found that sometimes all it takes is a conversation. Hey, did you finish level 2? Oh, I think so. I just forgot to submit it in Basecamp. Or even I didn't realize I had to submit it separately. These moments matter. And that's why I want to start with us. As leaders, we know that we set the tone. Let's be sure that we are modeling what we want to see. When was the last time you logged into Basecamp? Are all your own levels submitted and approved? If not, now is the time. Certainly, I personally have some work to do there, and I owe Sally some information as well. I haven't forgotten, Sally. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. When you're actively participating, when members see that we are progressing, updating, and celebrating our milestones, it sends a very clear message. Education is alive and well here. So here's a simple challenge. Know where your club stands. Look for that low-hanging fruit, those nearly completed levels that just need follow-up. Reach out one member at a time and offer encouragement or help in wrapping up that project. And yes, double check your own pathway's progress too. June 30th might feel like it's still down the road, but the actions that we take now, this week, this month, are what drive our clubs to the finish line. So yes, let's lead by example, finishing strong. Thank you for all the work that you do, for the leadership that you bring to our Toastmasters community.
Thank
Back
you.
to you, Sally.
All right, thank you so much. Division and area directors out there, and obviously the club officers, but division and area directors, take these messages back to your clubs. Every single one of them. It's so, so important. And with that, we have more messages from you, excuse me. I would like to now ask Ed Cullen to chat with us about club officer elections. Ed.
Thank you very much. Just as everybody, let's see, the host spotlighted. Okay. Unmute. Thank you very much. Just as everyone in this room has thought about succession planning, that is, one of the first things you did as an area director was think about who could be the next area director. Clubs have a very important season, and this season is club officers. In April, your clubs should be talking about the 7 offices. In May, you should be electing, the club should be electing their club officers so that in June they can go to TLI and get trained and talk to the current occupants of their office. Here's an example of something that can be done at the club level. Let's go, where is share?
See, if you want to share your screen, Ed, you'll have to tell us to take down our share.
Oh, please, could you take down your share? Thanks. And then I have to figure out which one of these things shares my, nope.
Is Ed on as a co-host so that he can, oh, he is, okay. So you should be good to go, Ed.
I'm looking for the participants with multiple participants can share. Okay.
Bright green button.
There we go, all participants.
Do you have that bright green button at the bottom of your screen?
Yes, yes, I do.
That's the one.
Excellent. Here's an example in Canva of something that your clubs can do. They can just talk about The fact that new officer elections will happen in May, they can talk about the roles. People who are currently in the roles can talk about it, but you can also put it on a flyer like this. Canvas, very easy to work with. So you've got an example. The person who's currently president talked about the presidency. The person who's currently VPE is me, and actually the president talked about my role. Going all the way through. Set your clubs up for success. You can be as elaborate as you want, or just talk about the 7 offices and who will occupy those offices. April's the time your clubs should be talking about it. May's the time they should be having their election. And June is the first TLI, the real TLI. Set your clubs up for success. The task of becoming a club officer is the first step in replacing you as an area director. So you want people to get those offices and experience the positives from having those offices. And every single one of them is important. I've been a club secretary. I've been a number of club roles, 6 of the 7 club roles. All of them are important. Get that message to your clubs and don't let them fall behind. Succession. It was important to you when you started your area directorship. It's important now. Back to you, Sally.
Thank you so much. Can we go back to our share screen, please? One of the things about running for club officer is that it is an opportunity for people to get the most bang for their buck, return on investment. We're an organization that supports communication development and leadership development. So if all you're doing is going to your club meetings and giving speeches, you're not taking advantage of the other half of the opportunities that are provided to you by being a member of Toastmasters. And with that, moving right along, we've been talking about the conference coming up on May 17th. Tiffany Dawn Jones has been spearheading the effort to find volunteers for that conference, chairs. So please help me welcome Tiffany, who's going to be talking about what we still need. Tiffany.
Thank you very much, Sally. Good morning, fellow Toastmaster leaders of District 57. I'm Tiffany Dawn Jones. I'm the co-chair of this year's District 57 annual conference, along with Ashley Harkness, who's my co-chair. And today I'm here to talk about a vital component to the success of our event. It's not the program, not the keynote speakers, not even the workshops, although those are all very important. What I want to talk about is you. Every Toastmasters event we've ever loved, every conference we've been inspired by, that connected us and gave us the boost that we didn't even know we needed, only happened because people like you showed up and said, I'll help. This is our conference. It's not a show being put on for us. It's a celebration being built by us. And just like any great performance, it takes a team behind the curtain to make the magic happen. We've organized volunteer opportunities into key committees. We have the author table committee. We have the awards committee. We have the conference program committee. We have the contest committee. We have the education sessions committee, the goodie bag committee, the parade of club banners committee. We have the directional poster and door sign committee, the food and beverage coordination committee. We have this hospitality committee. We have a raffle prizes and silent auction committee. We have a registration committee, a remembrance committee. We have a setup and or breakdown committee. Should be a part of both or either or, depending on your time. We have a tech committee, and we also have a volunteer recognition committee. So whether you have 5 hours each week or more leading up to the conference, or just 1 hour the day of, there's a place for you. We've created a Google form where you can indicate your interests, availability, and committee preferences. And I'll post that in the chat. I'll press send. And from there, we'll connect with you, and your committee lead will guide you through the process. It's simple and supportive. Why volunteer, you might ask? Volunteering isn't just about helping the event succeed. It's about building real connections with Toastmasters across the district, practicing leadership in action, strengthening your skills from project management to public speaking, and most of all, creating something memorable together. We often say Toastmasters is a place where leaders are made, and this conference is one of the best opportunities to live that out. This event will only be as good as the energy we put into it, so I'm inviting you not just to attend, and we want you to attend, but to own it. Let's create something that reflects the excellence, service, and heart of District 57. If you've ever walked away from a conference feeling inspired, now's your chance to help someone else feel that same spark. You can find me or any of the other committee leads after this meeting, or click the link in the chat to sign up. And to our division and area directors and club officers, I especially encourage you to reach out to members who may not often step outside of their clubs. Invite them to volunteer or simply come to the conference, because sometimes it takes a personal invitation to help someone grow. And let's make this conference something we'll be proud of. Thank you to all the people who stepped up to help with this conference as chairs and volunteers thus far. We've been meeting every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific time online as the Conference Planning Committee. Our next meeting will be this upcoming Monday, April 14th, but we'll meet more often as the conference gets closer. And I expect this week, each committee chair will start meeting with their group of volunteers who will be volunteering for their committee. With their committee. And with that, that's what I have, an impassioned plea for you guys to please volunteer. And I believe Linda wanted to say a few words. Linda?
I did. Thank you so very, very much. I wanted to express to all of you the wonderfulness of this woman and how she stepped up and actually took on this role to be the co-chair for the conference. And she has moved me every time I talk to her about the conference. And she works so seamlessly with everyone, including Ashley, who can be a wonderful person and a great support. But the two of them together have made this what it is today. And I'm so proud of them. And I really want all of you to be a part of this as a volunteer and just experience the wonder of being on that side of the table. You know, it's one thing being a participant, but when you step on the other side of the table, you get a whole different view of what's going on with the conference and the wonder of making it happen for everyone. So thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Ashley.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, next, I would like to share some information with you about the upcoming business meeting. The business meeting is May the 16th, Friday. It's in the evening. It starts at 6 o'clock and hopefully it will be over by 8 o'clock. We'll see, depends on how we do. We are still needing some support for that business meeting in the way of confirmed technical support. I have wing who is going to be coordinating the election process. I need some other technical people to be managing other technical aspects of the meeting, whether or not we need breakout rooms or whatever we need to have happen for that meeting. Personally, I'm going to be sitting in a small room at the academy on a bunk bed with my computer in my lap running this meeting. So I know that others of you that are planning to go to the conference and are thinking of spending the night, there's no reason you can't be hunkered in just the way I am and attend that meeting. We need a quorum. Our process for voting is going to be just a little bit different this time. And I know those who talked us into doing what we've done in the past are going to cringe, but you know, that's the way it goes. So here's the thing. I don't think that someone who comes to the business meeting with a vote in hand should be turned away because of all the steps it takes to get into that business meeting to vote. And this time, I've talked with my chair for verification of voters. I know there's a name, sorry, Bill Mine, for not coming up with it. But what we're going to do is the registration for the business meeting should be up on the district website in the next couple of days. That's on me that it's not up yet. But I'm filling out the form. As soon as I get home today, I will complete the form filling out. It should be up there within the next couple of days. There'll be a registration link for the business meeting. Everyone who's coming to the business meeting should register. That's how you get your link. We will be collecting the lists of everybody who's registered and identifying those who are carrying votes. On the day of the business meeting, we will have that list at our fingertips, and those who register right up until that, until that day will be on the list. What we want is a confirmation for people who are coming. So if people who are coming would register again sometime during that day, that would be great. If we luck out and there are only a few of you that don't get the word and don't do that, we will be able to accommodate verifying your eligibility to vote as you enter the meeting. So that's what we're going to try to do. So if for some reason that takes longer than we think it's going to, just man up and take it, because we heard so many complaints about people coming to the business meeting and not being able to vote that we're going to lean that way this time. So if it takes a minute to get that in order, it takes a minute to get that in order. I just really want those who have taken some time out of their time to be there to vote to be able to vote. Also, I'd like to make a clarification on carrying proxies and what carrying a proxy means. The reason I want to clarify, and I think I said this earlier today, but it bears repeating. Carrying a proxy means that you have assigned someone who is not you and is not your pair. If you're a club officer, is not the Vice President of Education or the President, permission to vote on your behalf. It's not allowed. We don't do that at the district meeting. It can happen at the Toastmasters convention in August, and there are guidelines for that. I'm not talking about that today. The only people that can vote at the business meeting are people who can vote at the business meeting. So if you're a club officer that can vote, President, Vice President of Education, but your other pair can't be there, then you vote those two votes. Automatic, it's not a proxy, you get to vote those two votes. If you happen to be a district officer, you're an area director and you're a club president, and you're there to vote. And as club president, your Vice President of Education is not there. You can vote three votes. You have 3 votes. You have your district officer vote, your club officer vote, and your other club officer vote. So maximum of 3 votes. If you're the president of 6 clubs, oh well, unless you can get your VPE to carry that vote in those clubs, You have only a maximum of 2 votes unless you're a district officer, then you have a maximum of 3 votes. None of those are considered proxy carrying votes, all right? So you can't go ask Joe Blow, who happens to be maybe the secretary or maybe not an officer, to go to the business meeting and vote for you. It's not allowed. So that's very important for you to understand. At the business meeting, we are going to be voting on district officers. We are going to be voting on the realignment recommendation. We're going to be voting on approval of the minutes from the last business meeting. I didn't make a list, so I think those are the 3 things that we're going to be voting on during that meeting. Between now and that meeting in the next 2 weeks, everyone who's a voting member will be getting a packet of everything they need in order to vote. So they'll be getting an agenda with everything that's going to go on at that meeting, with a list of all of the items that are going to be voted upon, with a list with information about the procedure for being able to come in and vote. I don't expect you to remember exactly what I said. I only expect you to remember a sense of it, to know that it's going to be just a little bit different this time and hopefully easier to vote. Again, it's Friday evening, May 16th, begins at 6:00 p.m. Pacific time and goes until it goes. Hopefully we'll be done by 8.
And it is online, so that's the key thing to remember.
It is online only. It is required, thank you, Jeff, it is required by Toastmasters International to be a virtual only meeting. Interesting, huh? When all these other things are required to be in person. What are you gonna do? You know, it is what it is. So I think we're kind of lucky that way, because I think more people will have an opportunity to come in and vote because of that.
And Sally, Jill Arrington has her hand up.
Pardon me?
Jill Arrington has her hand up.
Oh, okay. Just a minute. So I am getting to the end of what I have to say about the business meeting, so now I can take questions.
Yeah. Basically, this is the section where you have the town hall open floor for questions. So let's start with Jill.
Thank you. Hi, Sally. Last year, there was some problems with people getting signed on to be able to vote. I'm not sure what the issue was, if we were just maybe too late or couldn't figure it out. However, I wanted to be sure how that's going to be addressed that year. Is it through the packet that we're going to be able to sign up to be able to vote?
Yeah, the information will be in the packet. What's different this time is that if you totally screw up and all you've done is register once, we will try to accommodate you as you walk in the door to allow you to vote.
Thank you.
There are only 2 registrations that we're going to ask you to do. One, the initial registration to get your link, and the second one is a registration on that day verifying that you are in fact attending. Let me tell you why this is important. This is so important. The quorum is not determined by who registers to attend the business meeting, as has been done in the past. The quorum is determined by who's present and ready to vote. So if we have 100% of our voting members register, but only 25 of you show up to the business meeting, we do not have a quorum. And that's the difference. That was the difference last year. That's why we put in these strict guidelines to get people to come in to announce themselves as being present and ready to vote. Because the quorum, I know I'm being repetitious, the quorum is based on those who are in the virtual room and ready to vote. And if we don't have a quorum, then let me put this in quotes, we cannot conduct business. So what we do is we conduct business anyway, and then there's a follow-up vote that has to take place in order to ratify the results of the vote. So whatever the vote is at the business meeting, if we don't have a quorum, it's not real. We have to then do a bunch of work to get people to come in and vote later. Frankly, by then I am going to be hecka tired, and I don't want to have to do that. So I would rather put the energy in nagging you ahead of time like I did last year, nag, 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 nag. It's going to be more than just the weekly digest that's nagging you. If you're not registered to come to the business meeting, and if you don't get yourself there to vote. So there you have it.
What is quorum percentage?
I think it's what, 50 plus 1? Is that what it is, Ed? 50% plus 1? You're muted.
I can look it up.
Okay.
But
I
yeah.
know the answer. This is Lisa. It's 50, it's 1. Quorum is determined by presidents and vice presidents only, not the area directors and other DEC council people.
All right.
And
So,
it is 50% plus 1, yes.
so if we have 109 clubs times 2, right, that's 218, divided by 2 plus 1, that's our approximate quorum. Now, the actual quorum will be determined by clubs in good standing at the time of the business meeting. So that's why it's so important to have your members pay dues so that we have as many clubs in good standing as we possibly can have, so that everybody gets a voice. Some clubs just send those 2 officers off to vote, and some clubs vote on how they want them to vote. And how your club handles that is up to them. Are there any other questions about the business meeting? Okay, if we have a quorum, then we'll have the results of all of those voting activities before the business meeting adjourns.
Are there any other questions in general from any of the presentations, stuff outside the DECM information that you might have? Now's the time to ask.
All right, we are almost, oh, sorry.
Linda, you're muted.
Just a minute, we have a question, I'm listening to it. They don't need any documentation. If the question was, if you have a president attend, but maybe the VPE does not attend, do they have to have documentation to vote? No, it's not a proxy situation. There are 2 votes per club. If either of the eligible voting members are there, they carry both votes for the club. It's coded in as we are verifying who's in the room. So they only have to vote once, and that vote will be duplicated for them. Now, if something weird happens and they're carrying 2 different votes, we'll figure that out. I'm not sure.
Sally, how does that work with the district officers being club officers?
It works that the person who's a district officer and a club officer, they can carry a maximum of 3 votes.
Right, no, I got that.
Yeah. So if they're there and they're verified there, they'll be coded with a 3.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, and if there's for some reason they're carrying 2 different votes, I'll be talking to Bill and to Wing about how that might work. I've not seen us do that. It's, you know.
Wing is laughing.
You can ask Lisa Fairchild. The point is, there will be, if you have 3 clubs, it will be shuffled in the way that the greatest representation. So if you have 3 clubs and 2 of them have 2 people, then your 2 votes would go for the one that only has 1 person.
Right.
It's worked out. People work hard to make these business meetings work, and most of it is invisible work, but there's some big invisible work being done behind the business meeting.
Indeed.
Okay, yes, and that's just like what folks have been saying throughout the day here, talking about volunteers. Tiffany leaned into that. There's so much work going on that the folks have absolutely no idea about. The story I was going to tell you, and I'll do it in 30 seconds here, is that one of our contests, our area contest, was about to not happen, and we picked it up, pulled it together, ran it, had some last-minute glitches. The people in the room that were there to observe and participate had no idea. They had no idea what was going on in the background. And that's the hallmark of a great event. Not that you don't have glitches, not that it runs perfectly, but that the people who are there to attend have no idea what you've had to do to make it work. And those people who have volunteered to be in that position to help make it work, they should take great pride as they're walking out and people are saying, what a wonderful experience. And they're thinking to themselves, oh my God, I almost died. Well, when they hear people saying, what a great experience, they were a success. And that's what it's about. It's all of those invisible people that make these things work. And with that, do we have breakout rooms set up for our division council meetings?
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Then in that case, let me just say, the April DECM is adjourned.
Okay, I'm opening the